Good morning. Okay, so first off, I sound horrible. I don't know, I'm getting some kind of something or other, but I wanted to make this video to show you guys how to make homemade Greek yogurt. So, this is the milk I'm using. It's just the full normal milk. It's a gallon. And I'm kind of doing an experiment today. So I have a gallon of it going in the crock pot, which is what I generally use. And then I have a gallon of it on the stove top because I want to see what actually is faster. I don't know. I want to try it. So in the crock pot, you set it for high for 4 hours. And your goal is you're going to get your thermometer, I'll show you mine. Excuse the mess everywhere. I'm cleaning and getting ready to go on a trip here soon to Florida, and the house is a mess. So I just have a digital thermometer that I use, and your goal is to get the yogurt to 180 degrees, and then you turn it off the heat. Here is the gallon of milk. I just right now have it just kind of on a low setting to just see, because you don't want the milk to brown. And then over here, look, Easter, is the crock pot. And so you can see it's set for high for 4 hours. And I'm just going to check it every now and again to see. It would roughly take about 4 hours in the crock pot. The stovetop is the one I'm going to have to be checking more often because I've never done it on there. I'm checking the yogurt that is on the stove, and it is, I'm pretty sure, 180. So let's check it, and then I can turn it off. And I just realized I'm in my robe. Classy, right? All right, so let's check this. So you can see it's at 190, so we're good. We're going to go ahead and just turn the heat off. But you want it to cool kind of slowly, so the lid's going on and it's going to stay there. And here's a glimpse of meal prep. Look at all this mess everywhere. All right, so let's come over here and check this one that's in the crock pot. So they've been on the they've been cooking for about the same time, so let's see if this is about done. All right, so it's about 150. So this definitely shows that doing it on the stove, if you're wanting it to be faster, the stovetop actually is quicker. I'm going to check the crock pot one to see if it is at temperature yet. Whoops, I'm not doing this very well. Still meal prepping. I have a doctor's appointment today, so hopefully whatever this crud is can be done. All right, so we're at 180 now in the crock pot. So I'm going to go ahead, turn it off. Now the next step is to get these the milk to 120 degrees. 120, 115 is fine. So I'm going to check the one here on the stove. And it's still at 157, 158. So what happens at this point is we just let them cool. So it's still on the eye. The one that's on the stove is still on the eye. And you want it to cool slowly, and then you're going to add your yogurt into it, your starter yogurt. All right, so I'm checking the yogurt again. It has been sitting for about an hour and a half or so. Look, I put clothes on. I'm going to the doctor's appointment just in a minute. So right here at the stovetop, it is 120.121. So that's perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you what the next step is. Now that this yogurt has cooled, or the milk mixture has cooled to the right temperature, you need a starter yogurt. So this is 2 cups of yogurt that I pulled out from the last batch that I made. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put half of it into this bowl and then spoon out some of the milk, and I'm going to whisk it until it becomes a little bit thick, and then I'll add it. So I'm going to show you. You're not going to really get to see me because I'm just not totally set up for this whole thing. So here we go. So all this is the milk coming out of the pan, and it's still warm, obviously. And I'm making a mess. That happens, you know? I tell you guys, I have like had this cold for literally going on probably 4 weeks now. So, you know it's serious. If I'm going to a doctor, you know I'm not feeling well. All right, so there's not like a certain amount that you have to put in here. I'm just kind of spooning some in. And then I'm just going to take half of this yogurt. And you can see it's really thick because I like to make mine super thick Greek yogurt when I make yogurt. So we're just going to add that in. And this other one's for the other yogurt I'm making. And then you're just going to mix it up. So you can see it's kind of thin like when I poured it in, and now it's going to start getting really thick. And the only reason I pull it out and put it into this little one is that, or this container, is it just makes it a whole lot easier to pour. All right, so like already the stuff is super thick. So it was just like regular milk. And now it's like thick. I'm going to pour what I just mixed up back into the pot here. So, and you can see it's pretty thick consistency because that has the active bacteria, probiotics, and everything in it that yogurt has. And then all I'm going to do is whisk it up and just mix it. Just gonna mix that up. I've never done it on the like on the stovetop. So this is gonna be new. I'm curious to see like how it's going to come out and if it's gonna taste the same. So I just checked the Crockpot one, and this one is still like 140 degrees. So what I'm gonna do is just basically move the lid over a little bit to leave it open so that it can cool a little bit more quickly. I actually have to get to the doctor's appointment, so it's about 140. So I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna actually just take it off because I'm gonna want to have the mixture, add the yogurt, the active yogurt into here before I leave for the doctor's appointment. So I'm gonna just go ahead and take the lid off. It's gonna be fine. I've done this before and I know it works. So I'm gonna finish getting some stuff together before I have to run out, and then I'll do this and I'll show you the final step, because basically once this is cooled and I add the active yogurt in it, it's done until tomorrow. I finished the yogurt that was in the crock pot. It was like 128, 129, somewhere in there. I went ahead and added the yogurt. It'll be fine, whatever. So the final step is you have to cover your yogurt and you leave it overnight. So I will do that and I'll show you kind of how I do it. There it is. They're all tucked in. I just try to make sure it's all covered, and there we go. That will sit that way until tomorrow morning. I'll uncover it and then I'll start the straining process. The reason why you cover this is so that it cools slowly, and that's kind of how the yogurt is created. So it's there. I'm running to the doctor's, and you guys will see in the morning what the next step is. All right, good morning. It's actually Easter, so happy Easter, everyone. So we're actually headed out the door to go on a family trip for this Easter. So I need to get the yogurt straining, and I wanted to show you guys what it looks like. I did go to the doctor yesterday, and I have bronchitis, so fabulous. And they gave me shots, one in each cheek. I mean, let's not leave one out, right? They're gonna hurt. Let's make them both hurt. Anyways, back to yogurt. So yogurt has been here all night. I'm gonna take the blanket off and show you guys. So I'm taking the blanket off, and it's still, oops, sorry. I'm taking the blanket off, and the containers are still warm. So that's actually what you want, because that heat helps to get your yogurt doing its thing. And look, big old bottle of medicine and antibiotics. Okay, so I'm going to show you really quickly what they look like. And this is how, so this is the first time that I've done, I think I told you guys, the first time I've done it in like on the stove top. So this is just a stovetop pan. And then the crock pot, I've done that for years. So this is what it looks like when you take the lid off. So let me wiggle it. You see that? Like it's super thick. All right. So that means it's done. It looks great. So what I'm going to do is, let me just show you and then I'll do it and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. All right. So the next thing that you're going to need, sorry, I'm really doing bad with this videoing. Let's see if this works. Could be better. But beggars can't be choosers, right? Did y'all's mama ever say that? Beggars can't be choosers? Because my mama sure did. She sure did. Yes, she did. Even though my mama's not Southern, she kind of was a good Southern mama. Okay, so good enough. So what you're going to need now is you're going to need a colander and a cheesecloth. So this cheesecloth, I just reuse it. I wash it, obviously. I wash it with dish soap and hang it out to dry. And I've been using this one for probably 7, 8 months now. Just ordered it off Amazon. So it's a really fine knit cheesecloth. And so what you're going to do is you're going to just place it inside your colander like this, and I'm going to put this into the sink. Now, what you're straining off in your yogurt is whey. You can keep that whey and you can add it to, you can dilute it and use it in your garden, which actually helps to improve your pH level if the pH level is off in your garden. So you can use the whey for that. There's actually like lemonades and different drinks that you can add it to increase the protein amount. You can also put it in protein drinks as whey. You can put it in soups. Just again, it's just a way to reuse what you're straining off. I'm not going to do that today because we're out the door. So if you were going to keep it, put it over a bowl so that it keeps it all. Since I'm not, I'm actually just putting it straight into the sink and just going to strain it down the sink while we're gone. Now, I also have this little one because I've made so much. I'm going to have to try to like get them in. I don't have another cheesecloth. I probably should purchase another one, but if you guys don't want to purchase one, honestly, one of these, this one is purposely for my straining my yogurt. This is just a dish towel. It's pretty a thick ply of it. So I'm going to put that on this one and it works just the same. It actually takes longer to strain because it's so thick, but it makes nice thick Greek yogurt. So I'm going to go put this up. I'll show you once I bring them in what they look like. I want to show you when you get into this, like look at that. Like see how thick that is already? So this, and then all I'm going to do is you just pour it into the colander and you just let it strain. So some people don't mind the yogurt this consistency and they keep it this consistency. Now this is just plain yogurt. There's no sweetener, no flavoring, nothing to it right now. I personally like my yogurt to be super, super thick. I figured I'd flip it around. You could see me. Maybe you'd rather see the yogurt now that I think about it. Anyways, so some people leave it this consistency. It's a normal consistency of yogurt for sure. But because I add the sugar-free vanilla syrup to it and then I do add flavorings to it, it kind of makes it a little bit more liquidy, and I truly just like thick yogurt. So you could strain this for an hour and be done. I actually strain mine all day long. And then I'll put it in the fridge when I get back from my trip, and I'll show you guys that when it's done. I've gotten the yogurt into the strainer. So this one is the big one. Here's the small one, and it's already strained down, so I put a couple more spoonfuls of the yogurt that came from the crock pot in there. So I want to tell you, so the yogurt that's in the crock pot, and this is how I've been normally making it, is a lot more runny than the one that I did on the stovetop. So I'm going to run upstairs, get my daughter dressed and ready for Easter, and before we leave, I'll put the remainder of the yogurt to strain. So I'm about to run out the door, but I wanted to show you I filled up the 2 right here. So both of them are completely, the crock pot and the pan are completely empty. So these are going to strain, and I'll show you when we get back home what they look like. So it's later in the day. We're home. I wanted to show you how the yogurt strained. So you can see it goes down quite a bit. Remember, these were completely full, but these are going to be super thick, awesome Greek yogurt. I'm going to put this in a bowl and I'll show you what it looks like. So the yogurt is all done. Here it is in this big giant bowl. I don't know if you can see how big that bowl is, but there's a bunch of Greek yogurt. Now, obviously, you saw how much yogurt you get when you strain out that much whey. So I think that's why a lot of people don't make Greek yogurt, because if you hear that clicking, that's my dog walking around. So I think that's why a lot of people maybe don't like the Greek yogurt, because you strain off so much and the amount that you cook is so minimal maybe. I like it. So personally, it doesn't bother me. I know that I'm going to be adding the Tirani sugar-free vanilla syrup to it, so that thins it out a little bit, and then the flavoring that I use also thins it out a little bit. So that's all I do. So from here, what I'll do is I'll flavor the whole thing. Oh, reminder number 1, you want to go ahead and pull out. So like it's basically 1 cup of Greek yogurt per gallon of milk. So I'll probably go ahead and pull off 2 cups of this, set it aside in the back of my refrigerator so that I don't eat it all and have to buy some, because I've done that and that's not cool. So it's done. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments below and I will get back to you.